Hello, good day. My name is Oluwatobi Fatoki. I'm a legal practitioner, uh, public affairs analyst, and to further introduce myself, I have my PhD in journalism, and I have my Masters of Science in Peace and Security Studies. But today, I'm not here to talk about issue of peace and security. I'm not here to analyze on public issues, though it still matters on it. I'm not here as a journalist, but I'm here to talk on surrogacy practice in Nigeria. As a legal practitioner that has been in the field of surrogacy over time with making families surrogacy, you see, there are a lot we need to say about surrogacy. When we talk about surrogacy, people tend to be like, what's this? What's happening around it? Can't just get a child through any means or by having someone by any means whatsoever to just get a child for me and I'm fine without going through the nitty gritty, the modus operandi. If you're talking about surrogacy, what do you mean by surrogacy? Let me first bring us to the word of surrogacy and why people go into delve into surrogacy. We all know that we're in a world where our people are able to have a child of their own. People need a child they can call their own child and say, this is my son, this is my daughter. If there is a thin line between adopted child and a child one has, either by himself or herself or through somebody else carrying that pregnancy for the person, is different from adoption. Yes, an adopted child is also your child under the law because constitutionally, no child is meant to be declared as what's it called? Bastard. No, it's not. No, there is nothing like bastard. Every child has a right to a family, but adoption simply stated is taking over somebody else's responsibility, taking over somebody else's child as your own, and be responsible for the upbringing of that child. The person has given birth to the child, you just want to take over. That's adoption. But when it comes to surrogacy, you want to identify with a child and you want the child to identify with you as your own. Then after explaining that, we know that some people have issues, fertility issues, to give birth to a child on their own accord. It could be the man, it could be the woman. Some people, their hairs cannot get fertilized. What do they do? Now, in a layman's term, they needed a third party known as surrogate mothers or gestational carrier to help them carry a pregnancy to term and deliver the child for them. But before that happens, I need to also distinguish surrogacy from baby factory. I say under surrogacy, you might have issues, maybe fertility issues, you cannot carry a pregnancy to term, it could be the husband, maybe the sperm cannot fertilize, the sperm is weak, cannot produce a child, this and that. Medical conditions. Some people old age. And some will be like, oh, I just want to be like this, I just want a child through surrogacy. Without any reason whatsoever. But through surrogacy. But baby factory is an illegal business whereby young ladies are allowed to a particular place being slept with by everybody there, being slept with by different type of people, and they delivered through the whole process. And they now sell the baby delivered to parents in court that need a child, that is in need of a child. They sell. Those are baby factory, which is highly illegal, is a criminal act. But under surrogacy, you enter into an agreement with a third party to carry a pregnancy to term for you. And what are the procedure? There are some in which the husband or the man could be the donor, the sperm donor. Okay, use my sperm. My wife has issues with fertility. I want to donate my sperm. They now do what is called IVF to fertilize the egg of the carrier with the sperm. So the carrier is carrying the child of those people for them under an agreed term. And at times, we have what is called sperm donors. Maybe both parties they cannot successfully give birth to a child. They can go to sperm bank, get sperm to fertilize the ovum, the ovary of the carrier and the likes, and get a result. At times, the lady may use her eggs. I say, okay, I'm using my egg. I'm using my spouse's sperm. I don't have the strength to carry the pregnancy. I have some underlying medical conditions. So it is a legal process. It is known to law. In Nigeria, all over Nigeria, different states, people have been coming to say, I want to have my child through surrogacy. Then, how do you now go about it after understanding what surrogacy is? You have to now research on surrogacy agencies. There are agencies that are already in place. There are fertility clinics that assist. And what the agency does is to look for a gestational career, reasonable person that can carry a child, a pregnancy to term for delivery. And in most cases, talking about gestational carriers, it is illegal to use an underage person. That's another distinction between surrogacy and baby factory. The person under the law of under contracts must have the capacity to enter into a contract. And what do I mean? The person must be of age, that is over 18. And in most cases, it is better that the person has given birth before. Somebody that has lost the child before. It's voluntary, it's not true coercion. So the surrogate mother, the gestational carrier, enter into the agreement voluntarily with what goal? To help a family have a child, to give back to the society, to put a smile on the family that have been looking for the fruit of the womb over the years. So people are satisfied with that aim. So people could have had all the child they want for themselves. And let me assist another family have a child. Just where we have sperm donors, just where we have blood donors. You are donating your blood to help a life to be sustained. You are donating your sperm to help a family to have a child can call their own child. That is what surrogacy is all about. Now, looking at the legislative framework, they do say where there is no law, there is no sin. But under surrogacy, we don't have any law present in Nigeria that really back it up or like that regulates it in total. But there are some agencies that still regulates. There are some regulatory bodies which I will still talk about. But steps are being taken by the National Assembly. I think one of our House of Rep member is I've forgotten the name, took a step and set a bill so that it can pass so that we regulate surrogacy practice in Nigeria, step by step. So people won't be able to mix surrogacy with baby factory. So those that are hiding under the umbrella of baby factory will come out to say they're into surrogacy. There are different things. Surrogacy is a tripartite agreement. It's voluntary. It's not a child abuse. It's to put smile. It's a procedure. It's a procedure in which all parties must be involved from the commencement to the end. And once a child is delivered, there is a detachment from that child away from the carrier. The child belongs to the new family under the contract. So there are two different things. And back to what I said, that the regulatory bodies, because people might say, oh, there is no way we can do anyhow under surrogacy, we can do anyhow. No, we cannot. We have stakeholders involved in surrogacies. And who are the stakeholders or the stakeholders? First, the parties that are involved, the intended parents. That is the terminology to use for the parties involved. That is to use for the those that look for the fruit of the womb under surrogacy. The intended father, the intended mother, and the gestational career. There are parties involved. They have their rights as enshrined under the Constitution. They have their right to life. They have the right to freedom of movement. They have all their rights, fundamental human rights. So you cannot, under the disguise of surrogacy, and say, I want to take away your right from you. But still know that there are still procedure. If, for instance, under surrogacy, after the IVF, and they said that you must be confined, you must stay in a place for a few days to check the procedure, medical, those are normal. Just like a pregnant mother that have critical health condition will be confined to the hospital, stay on the hospital bed, let the doctor watch you. Those are not procedure. But not when those reasons are not there, you say, okay, you must remain in a particular room for the rest for the all 9 months, you must not step out, you must not do this, you must not do that. You are stepping on that person's freedom of movement. There are two different things. The surrogate mother is not a slave, is helping out to meet a goal, to meet your purpose of having a child. Ditto, the intended parents, they also have the laws that protect them. They have their fundamental rights, such as the conversation, the right to privacy, family life. You cannot, because you have gone to surrogacy, because you are privy to the contracts and start telling the whole world, oh, this is what Mr. Miss so did, these are the got their child, these are the procedure. No, they have the right to them to their privacy. You cannot, except they really wish to say by themselves. So there are laws that protect them. And once you find those laws, you can be sued for it. So those are the things that gives people the confidence to say, oh, I want to go in through surrogacy. The child belongs to you. Either you have used your egg, or you have used the sperm, or you have used a donor. So far, it is the legal process. The child delivered becomes your child, no matter the health condition of that child, no matter the numbers of the children delivered for. So you must embrace it. The joy you have been looking for. You must embrace it. Also, talking about the stakeholders, we have the what's it called? The surrogacy agencies, just like the Making Family surrogacies, which I've been working with over the years. They sought for, they scrutinize, they do medical checkups, they do, what's it called, therapy and the likes for entire parents to know if they are not ready to go through surrogacy. And to surrogate mothers, they trace, they check, do you have any medical history, your medical status, psychological, any psychological trauma. They do all those. So the surrogacy agencies play a very important role in making surrogacy work. You cannot do it by yourself. So I always say, like, I do it by myself just to get a guy and talk with me. No, you are going to fail. Go through proper agencies that know, that have opened their eyes and crossed their T's. When you search through, when you see the organization, you see the agencies, that have been doing this over the years in Nigeria, I can be rest assured that they will play their role in getting a surrogate mother that won't give you any issue. Apart from that, another stakeholders we have in surrogacy business. Oh, I don't think I forgot about my role as a lawyer. Yes, lawyers will play a better role. I'm coming there. So as you are watching, listening, I've not forgotten my role. But let us go into the medical line. We have the nurses, the doctors, just like somebody that is pregnant. Just as a pregnant woman, we walk to an hospital to say, I want to start my antenatal, so I want to start my prenatal and the likes. It's the same way the process of surrogacy, because I have to talk about uh, fertilization. We have to talk about transmission and the likes. We have to talk about implantation and the likes. It will undergo medical process. And in most cases, we use the hospitals that are knowledgeable in fertility clinics. They have different specialists in that area. Now, there are code of conduct that guides medical practitioners. They have a regulation medical practitioner and dental something something. They have the laws, they have the rules that binds them. So they dare not and they must not do anything that contravene their professional ethics under surrogacy, just as they will want to do with any of their patients. So when that is done, the law takes its course on them. So those are the regulatory body. They have their, what is it called? The regulatory body that sanctions. So you must treat your patients with utmost respect, in good faith, and ensure the safety of your patients. And in most cases, the generational carriers are the patients to the fertility clinics or to the hospitals where the surrogacy is being done. Apart from that, other stakeholders we have the lawyers, the legal practitioners. They do the agreements, they vet. What do we do? We questions, we ask questions, we give legal advice to the agencies, to the intended parents, to the carriers. When there are issues, we communicate, we flow, we draft the agreements. We ensure that necessary terms as agreed by parties are incorporated into the agreement that will be signed. So these are the steps that ought to be taken. Then also we have the courts, the family court, judiciary. In most cases, where you need to do some other, what's it called, legal frameworks that buys that contract, just like adoption process, where you have to go to the court and get the order and every other document. So likewise surrogacy. So that could be the final stage. Then also, most importantly, the major stakeholders that we have in surrogacy practice in Nigeria is the society. The society. And why do I say they are the major stakeholders? Number one, because of their perception, their view into surrogacy. We have seen instances where many of our patients, where many of intended parents have successfully undergone surrogacy and have decided to share their testimonies voluntarily. And the society at times tend to judge them for the steps they have taken. That is a wrong perception. That is wrong. That is not acceptable. Everyone has the rights legally in which they wish to have their own child or their children. So far, it is a legal process. Encourage them, embrace them. Don't tag the child that have been given birth to as not being a member of the family. That child should be embraced as a member of their family. The society should look, we have gone beyond many people and say, oh, is not a child that you had through surrogacy, just one that carry your pregnancy, why are you pregnant? All the 9 months, you didn't see your tummy getting bigger. So society should not speak negative to those that have wished to share their stories on how they have undergone through their surrogacy processes. Also, still on society, be able to stakeholders, they should not discourage intended gestational carriers, intended surrogate mothers. So far, they are doing it voluntarily and willingly. So far, they are not underaged. So far, they know the country they are entering into. So far, they know the purpose that is to put a smile, to give joy to another family. Embrace them. Somebody has gone through surrogacy program, the person is out and decided to share a story that, oh, I did this for another person because she cannot be disclosed. I carried a child, I did this process. And our society in Nigeria today is they will start castigating. Oh, how will you do that? How will you carry a child for somebody? How will you be to this? What happened? Never in your life, how dare you? Why did you do that? No. If everyone keep talking that way, then how would those who are looking for the fruit of the womb under surrogacy procedure have their own child? We should not condemn. Just imagine, it sounds like somebody condemning those that go to donate blood. Really, there is when you now have, God forbid, when you now have accident, you have a need for a blood, maybe in a critical condition and you need a blood. And they say, oh, there is no blood in any blood bank because people are being discouraged to donate blood. That is when you know the importance of people willing voluntarily going out there to donate their blood. So don't discourage those that decide to say, I want to be a gestational carrier. They have their own purpose. They are doing for society. So far, it is done legally. So society plays a vital role. In conclusion, let us embrace surrogacy practices in Nigeria. Don't condemn, don't criticize, embrace those, encourage it. We are moving forward as a nation, and I believe in no time there will be a robust legislative framework to regulate surrogacy practice in Nigeria. They are working on it. It's good. And I wish to say again to the viewers, to the listeners, baby factories should be discouraged. Don't say because baby factory is a fast procedure, you can take your money today and go to a particular place and get a child, giving birth today. Once you are arrested, once you are caught, you dance to the music. You face it. Regulatory bodies, NAPTIP, the police, the civil defense, even the military, they are all watching. They're in the lookouts. Just browse, go through the news. You see many people have been shut down. Those that face their sanctions, those that have been penalized, those that are imprisoned because of those acts. And also, another criminal act is abduction of a child. We've seen instances where people still abduct a baby to sell for somebody else. They don't have a baby factory, they have not gone through surrogacy, but they decide to steal, abduct somebody else's joy, and give to another family. We've heard of this time where a child was stolen from Osun State and found in one eastern state. We've seen times where a child was stolen from River State and sold to Kano State. It happens, but these are criminal acts. When you know there is a legal way you can opt for, then why go through illegal means? Embrace surrogacy. God help you, God help us, God help Nigeria. Together, we keep making families happy. Thank you, and God bless you.